the wrap-up was I think different to many wrap-ups that I've come across before. I think it sort of reflected the sort of spirit of this meeting. It was a meeting which was different to, I think, meetings that we know that we go to. EuroDig worked. It brought together, I don't know, something in the region of 200 people over 2 days to talk about, you know, the internet, public policy. What does the internet mean for them? What do we do? What's European, in fact, about the internet? And what are our concerns? What do we like? Or what do we want to change? And but the atmosphere, the way it was the way that it was sort of delivered, the way that there was discussion, was different. EuroDig is not owned by any one particular body, person, organisation. It was shared between different groups of people who were interested. So if you like, it came about quite organically, in a sort of dynamic fashion. There were groups, there were youth which came through. They were engaged. They wanted to be involved. Parliamentarians came through for the first time. Amongst a number of government representatives, other civil society, etc. So all the multi-stakeholder elements were there. But it went beyond that. It went beyond that because it brought about this sort of very sort of free discussion. Everyone felt as if it was for them. There was no one ownership. Everybody was owning it, and those who brought it to life in preparation were lots of groups of different people, individuals, and in different communities, very engaged. Groups, like Diplo, were very, very engaged and very, very supportive. It was great. You had the EBU, of course, who were engaging in terms of quality content. We had the European Parliament, which came through and made some very constructive comments. So overall, in a very sort of organic fashion, very simple, there was real interaction about issues which I think in the past have been dealt with on a sort of a more abstract level. And there were comments, there was discussion about what does privacy really mean for the user, and how do you deal with that. We got into discussion, for example, on the terms and conditions and how users, how do they deal with terms and conditions which they click yes to accept, so they can then enter that service and use the service, whether that be a social networking site or whichever service technology. And that was the beauty of the discussion. And I think the fact that it was very sort of there was a shared ownership brought it much to life. And I just repeat, I underline it because it's really came through strongly. Those groups of people who prepared and briefed and brought it to life in terms of its preparation were really working together, and it was very, very nice, very friendly, and not very formal. I think that's the key. And for the future, in terms of what to do for the future, how do we make that dialogue better? I think we need to keep it fresh. I think we need to keep it not necessarily very heavily structured, because it's dialogue. And I think what came through in terms of substance, just to be very clear, I think we agreed. I think most people agreed that that Europe is about human rights, public value, public service value of the internet, amongst other things. And those are the constant things. Those are the identifying features of Europe, I think. That was agreed. If there was an agreement, and there was no formal agreement at the end, we all agree upon this. But certainly human rights and public service value, the public interests that we have about the internet, came through as being those key indicators as part of the European identity for internet and its governance. Jumping back to the future would be more of the same. It would be mobilising earlier more groups. So bringing as many groups to. I mean, it's an open, inclusive dialogue. I mean, it's not closed. It's open. If there was a group of people or a particular body which wanted to come in, they should come in. And I think users, the group of users should come in even more. I'd like to see that more parliamentarians. I think would be very good too. And I think more private sector business involved. And I think that will be the key for the future. If we can get that, that will be great progress. I know these words are normally used by many people, and they're buzzwords and they're catchwords. But when I say it's open and when I say it's inclusive, it really is, because it's not at all something which is it's just a group of people deciding what's happening. So, you know, if you're really interested in being involved and bringing your, you know, your community and mobilising people from the people that matter for you, then it's important that you come and join it and take part and say, have your say. I really think that, you know, the more, you know, grassroots dialogue you can get into this process, the more that will come out. So it's a call for mobilisation. It's a call for, you know, it's a call for you to come in, and please do so.
Very good. Thank you so much.